The pharmacist needs to measure out 35 grams of a 70% powder using the 50% and 90% powders he has in stock. How much of each powder is required? This is a multiple choice question, so that's why you choose the letter for the correct answer. So this is an alligation question because you have 35 grams of you want 35 grams of a 70% powder, but you only have a 50% and a 90% that what you're going to use. So this is an alligation question. All right, so to set up my alligation, I put one number on the top left here, and I put the other concentration down here, 50% here, 90%. You don't have to put percentage, I just like to put them there. And then you want to make a 70% powder, so this number here goes straight in the middle, and then you just put another lines crossing like this, and so you just follow the lines. 50 minus 70 equals 20. You don't have negative numbers, just keep the positive number, the absolute value. And so this one, 90 minus 70 is equal to 20. 90 minus 70 is equal to 20. So this represents the parts of the total mixture that you're gonna be using. So that's why you will add these together to find the total amount of the parts. So it's 40 parts total. 20 plus 20 is equal to 40. So what I like to do, I like to put the total over here, over 40 parts. Put this over 40 parts, right? So this top half here represents how much of the 50% powder we're going to use, and this bottom half here represents how much of the 90% powder that we're going to use. So next I'm going to multiply this fraction of the how much parts we're going to use by the total desired amount. Because we want our final amount of the mixture to be 35 grams. So that's why I multiply this by 35 grams. Because this here represents what fraction of this 50% stock solution we're going to use to get the total mixture. Same thing with the bottom part here. Times it by 35 grams, the total desired amount. And so you notice that these amounts are equal. So there's only one choice that has equal amounts. See the 17.5 and 17.5 of both the stocks? That's how I know already C is the answer. But I'm just going to continue on so you can see how I did it. So when I solve for this, 20 divided by 40, multiply it by 35, that equals 17.5 grams. And remember I told you this top half represents the 50% stock? Same thing down here. So 20 over 40 times it by 35, that equals 17.5 grams of the 90% stock. And that's my answer. So C is my final answer. So if you understand that, you can stop the video now, because the next step is for the people who get like A's in calculations class. So it's kind of difficult to understand, but people who are good in calculations, you should be able to do it in like 30 seconds. So to double check your work, I would just calculate how much drug is in each one here first. So for the 50% powder, 17.5 grams, and then multiply it by my concentration, which is 50 grams of the drug over 100 grams of the mixture. So grams of mixture cancel out, and it equals 8.75 grams of drug. That's in the 50% powder. So in the 90% powder, I have 17.5 grams, times it by the concentration, which is 90%. 90 grams of drug over 100 grams of mixture. So grams of mixture cancel out, and that equals 15.75 grams. So next I'm just going to add these two together to get the total amount of drug in this 35 gram mixture. So that equals, so 8.75 plus 15.75, that equals 24.5 grams of the total amount of drug in 35 grams of mixture, right? Because that's what I forced to set it to, 35 grams total in the mixture. So I'm going to take my 24.5 grams over 35 grams to find the percentage. And then when you do the math for this, that equals 70%, right? Because that's our desired percentage, 70% powder. So that's how I know for sure this is correct and this is correct. And then you could just move on to the next question because you know you did it right. So if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments.